Hi, friend. My name is Marcus Lapp. I am a former stutterer, a speech coach, and founder of SpeakYourMindMethod.com. And today I want to help answer the question that all of you are waiting for. And that question is, how can I overcome stuttering as quickly as humanly possible? So let's talk about it. Now, if you've watched a bunch of my other videos, this video at first glance might come off as a bit off-brand because I spent a lot of my time talking down on ideas and viewpoints that are so obsessed with speed of overcome stuttering in 3 days or 7 days or even 30 days or whatever. I always push back against this obsession with it having to be quick. That said, just because I value slow growth more and just because I believe that slow growth and a systematic approach over the long term actually leads to a lifetime of fluency where quick fixes don't, even though I believe that and I live by that, I'm not opposed to speed. There is a place for speed and for really trying to figure out, okay, if I committed myself as much as I could in a crazy way, how quickly could I do this? And that's kind of what I want to explore with you today. If you are the kind of person who you are able to make this your life's mission for the next few weeks, then keep watching because I'm going to give you a plan for overcoming stuttering as quickly as humanly possible. So I'm going to walk you through all the steps that you need to know about this process. But the first question we need to answer here is, what do I mean by fast? How fast is fast? And I need to mention this because you may think fast is like some people would say 3 days, some people would say 7 days, or even 1 day, whatever. All of that's BS. That's just not enough time, okay? When I say fast, I mean 4 to 8 weeks. That's ultra fast when you're talking about changing a habit that has been present for decades, most likely, changing that in 4 to 8 weeks is an unbelievable accomplishment, okay? So that's what I mean by fast, 4 to 8 weeks, not 4 days, not 3 days, 4 to 8 weeks, or you could say 1 to 2 months. Now, as I alluded to earlier, this kind of plan that you're about to learn is not for the faint of heart. And most of us, and this was me, I was not the kind of person, maybe it's because I was just 19 at the time, didn't quite have the motivation in life that I do now. I just wasn't in a place emotionally and mentally to put myself through this kind of rigorous training and this all-in approach in this 4 to 8 week span. And also, if you're busy, if you have a family, if you have things to take care of, if you run a business, if you have a job and you're working a lot of hours, or if you're going to school a lot and you're busy with all these things, then it's like, okay, maybe this isn't the approach that is actually going to work. Now, you can still glean a lot and learn a lot from this video, so still keep watching it. But as far as the actual plan and who this plan is for, this ultra as fast as possible kind of plan, it's for those of you who you have the next couple months and you have a lot of time on your hands. Or you're going to decide to make the time and maybe quit or take a break, take a hiatus from your job, or you're exploring things and you just want to go all in. So yeah, I want to make that clear. You probably are not this person who is going to implement this plan, but maybe you are. And for that small minority, if that's you, then you want to follow the plan that I'm about to share. So how much time do you need to spend practicing? What does it look like when it comes to the daily practice? If you listen to anything that I put out before, you know how much I value this and how important it is to have a daily practice routine. And what I would say is if you want to go all in and you want to go crazy and you want the fluency as quickly as possible, then my normal advice of 40 to 60 minutes a day, that goes out the window. And instead you need to double that and go 40 to 60 minutes early in the day, let's say in the morning, and then come back around and do another 40 to 60 minutes, perhaps in the afternoon, later in the day. Now, preferably you want there to be a few hours gap between when you do it the first time in the day versus the second time in the day. You don't necessarily want to do it all at once, just because fatigue will set in when you try to do it all at once. It's usually better if you separate it and you do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And you want to do this 6 days a week. I usually tell people around 5 days a week is good, or at least 5 to 6 days a week is good. For this, you're going to do 6 days a week. Now, take 1 day a week off. I do encourage you to do that. It just helps with getting rest. Sometimes neuroplasticity, the way the brain rewires, you need a bit of rest. So it's a good idea to get a rest day in so that you can actually maximize your gains. To use a gym metaphor, you can maximize your gains when it comes to your fluency. Okay, so that's the time that you need to put in. We're talking around 2 hours a day, 1 hour earlier in the day and another hour later. Now let's talk about, okay, what do you need to practice? If you were to take this plan and just go all in for the next 4 to 8 weeks, then what would the step-by-step plan be? What are you actually practicing? Well, I'll give you a couple options here. You can go the free route. That is completely valid. It's my Stop Stuttering workshop. I just updated this, so it's completely revised, completely updated here in 2024, at least as of recording this video. And so go watch that, go implement that, and that has the daily routine laid out for you. It's like 40 to 60 minutes with the daily routine, so just do that once in the morning, once in the afternoon or evening, and then you are golden. Now, that said, one of the challenges with doing anything like this yourself, especially when you have a tight time frame and you want to maximize results in a short amount of time, sometimes it's just really hard to do that when it's by yourself, even with the help of a plan and a program and all of that. What I mean is without the help of somebody who can actually coach you and walk with you and guide you through the process. And I say that not only because it benefits me if you get coaching with me, because of course it does, that's obvious, but it benefits you as well. One of the things a coach provides is it speeds it up, because we get really, we detect small problems before they kind of drag you down, and we help solve those problems, and then we work together and I'm able to point you in the right direction. When it comes to, okay, if you want to get coaching to go with this plan, again, that's what I'm going to recommend here. No shame. I'm going to recommend that because this is a special sort of plan. Not that I wouldn't recommend it otherwise, but if you're talking about maximum time, as short as time as possible, I'm going to work as hard as I can, then you want to get a coach. All right. And what I recommend for this is you could get like an 8 to 10 week plan, and that is the gold plan of my 75-day sprint program. Okay, so with that, you get 8 one-on-one coaching sessions, and we could spread those out once a week. We could, for a few of them, if we want to, we can go every other week. But yeah, it can be basically 8 weeks where we're working together. You're working your butt off, and I'm able to guide you and make sure that the plan's working, make sure we're hitting all the correct angles, make sure that we're doing all the things that work, and make sure that we're not wasting our time on the things that aren't working for you. Okay, so I did want to put that out there. That is what I would recommend. Go enroll in the gold plan if you want just maximal results in a short amount of time. Then go do that. I'll leave a link in the description below for the gold plan version of the 75-day sprint. Okay, what else? What else do you need to have in place? What other components do you need to have in place in order for this plan to work? Well, an important thing is you gotta sleep. You gotta sleep well. So you're not gonna be able to get the results you want from this if you're sleeping 5 or 6 hours a night. It's just not gonna work. Neuroplasticity, the rewiring of your brain, so much of that happens when you are asleep at night. It's not as much when you're practicing. Yes, that turns on, that gets the neurons warm, it fires them up, but they get solidified, they get strengthened when you sleep. And so this is why sleep is so important. So if you want the quickest neuroplastic change in your brain, and of course, as a result, more fluent speech, then you're going to have to make sure that you have the highest sleep quality possible. Okay? It's just the truth. Another thing you want to do is start engaging in exposure therapy. And I talk about this at the end of the workshop, the free workshop. I, of course, talk about this all the time with my one-on-one coaching clients. But exposure therapy is basically the process of slowly exposing yourself to things that scare you. So you expose yourself to situations, specifically speaking situations, that turn on your anxiety a little bit, that turn on that anticipation a little bit. Nothing crazy. You start small, and then you start to master that strata, and then you work up and slowly expand from there. Don't go too crazy, because we don't want to stack up a bunch of big disappointments by aiming too high at first with exposure therapy. So you want to start small, build up those small successes, and use that as fuel, because it really does turn into fuel. It gives you confidence. And especially when you combine that with this crazy hard work ethic of working in the morning, working in the afternoon, getting on these weekly one-on-one coaching, maybe even sometimes twice a week if we want to really squeeze it in and get as much out of it in 4 to 8 weeks, we can do that as well. You put all of this together, you've got a really good plan on your hands. So again, this isn't for everyone. This is for a minority of people. Most people need a plan that looks more like, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months even. And when I say, the longer one, like 6 months, I don't mean you won't see any fluency for 6 months. I just mean you need to work on it consistently to not only experience fluency, but keep the fluency and make sure that you grow the roots deep so that you can withstand the ups and downs and the tendency for the stutter to try to come back and regain its power. You need to be able to withstand that, and that will take time, right? And so, especially for those of us who have busy lives, usually you're going to need a plan that is a bit more stretched out than this. But again, this is for a specific type of person. If you've got some time on your hands over the next few weeks and you've decided, I'm going to go all in, this is the plan that I recommend. Again, as a recap, 4 to 8 weeks. You want to practice twice a day, 40 to 60 minutes a day. And this is no distractions, no looking at your phone, no, all in, full on engaged with your practice twice a day, 40 to 60 minutes for both of those sessions, and 6 days a week. And then when it comes to the daily practice routine, you can go the free route with the Stop Stuttering workshop. It's a little less reliable because you lack the one-on-one guidance. The one I recommend for the one-on-one guidance is the gold plan of the 75-day sprint program. Again, I'll leave links to all those below. You can go check those out. And then finally, you got to sleep well, and you need to embrace exposure therapy. And that's it. That's the plan for all you crazy people out there who just have this energy and you decided that you're going to go crazy. If you have the ability to do that, I think it's a really great thing. And when you expose yourself to that amount of pressure, that amount of just going all in, just drenching yourself in this process, it's amazing what can happen when you just completely plunge into it. So yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. Again, the links to everything we talked about are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in another one real soon.